It's that time of year again. We catch up with the Mayor of Edmonton to talk about issues affecting the city. Normally we meet Amarjeet Sohi at City Hall, but today we're going to ride the LRT together from the Millwood stop all the way downtown. Here we are on the LRT.
Yeah.
And I want to remind Edmontonians that you used to be a bus driver.
Yes.
So you have quite a long relationship with transit, right? So how has it changed over 20 years? And, you know, where do you see it going?
You know, our transit system has grown quite a bit over the last number of decades. You know, the opening of the Valley Line Southeast LRT is very dear to my heart because I worked so hard to get this project going when I was on City Council. Now to see it in operation and close to 1.2 million people use this line already. So that is obviously helping with the mobility, affordability, and providing people with choices how they want to move around our city. So, and also the bus network has grown considerably. We saw 34% increase in our bus ridership passenger growth from last year to this year. So people are using the transit system, and we need to make sure that we continue to build it for them.
Moving on to the budget, I would just like 6% tax increase for next year, and then we know that there's more coming likely. Edmonton, known as a very affordable city, but some people are starting to question like these tax increases. How do you feel like this might take away from the affordability?
We have gone through some of the most difficult times over the last number of years, and my role in this position has always been to try to strike the right balance around maintaining core municipal public services that actually make people's life affordable. Just imagine for a minute without effective bus service, recreational facilities, libraries, people's life will not be affordable. A lot of families use those services. At the same time, we want to make sure that our taxes are affordable as well.
Since we're talking about the budget and we're talking about expectations from the public, and one of those is safety. The police take up the highest amount of the operating budget in the city. How do you feel those dollars are being used? Are we getting our money's worth?
The property tax increases that we have seen over the last couple of years, majority of that actually has gone toward improving public safety and well-being. Police budget has grown significantly, and we are seeing the results. We have seen overall crime rate decline in our city. We have also invested in public transit safety. We have seen 21% decline in crime on transit properties, but the crime severity still continues to be a concern. And that's why I continue to invest in public safety and well-being. We are building more homes than we ever did before, and that adds to well-being as well. We have added crisis diversion teams. So all those investments are making a difference at reducing crime and disorder in our communities, but we have a long way to go.
What do you say to people that feel transit's not safe enough, whether it's whatever's happening in the transit centers, the bus stops, on the LRT itself?
Yeah, I hear people's concerns, even though I can demonstrate through data that overall safety is improving on public transit, but people's personal experiences are what they are. And one incident is too many. So anyone who has experienced violence or discomfort and disorder on transit, that's their personal experience. I want to acknowledge that. But at the same time, we are making it safer. And data will tell you that it's getting better, and the ridership is growing. So I think our investments are paying off, but we have a long way to go to ensure that everyone feels safe on transit.
There was a huge crackdown on encampments starting about a year ago. The police, and then in conjunction with the city, went about and started closing encampments, and that displaced quite a few people. But do you agree with that tactic?
Housing remains a critical need in our city. And that is why we are seeing so many people struggling on our streets, because they have no safe, affordable, and appropriate place to call home. So encampments are a symptom. But encampments are not safer place for anyone to live in. So that is why we have an approach that allows us to assess those encampments and then take action. You know, whenever you remove encampments, I hear that from communities that you're basically dispersing people into other neighborhoods. Yes, encampments are not safe. They pose a huge safety hazard for neighborhoods, for people who live in them, but without building more homes, without having more treatment facilities, detox facilities, without having more interim transitional housing, we will continue to deal with symptoms instead of actually looking at fixing the problem that we need to fix.
As we go by Bonnie Doon and Holyrood, there's a lot of development here. And I just wonder how much of this, when we talk about affordable housing, how much of this it actually is?
I would say most of the high-rise buildings that are popping up around LRT stations are affordable. Obviously they're market-driven, but it shows that public investments in public transit are stimulating private sector investment around LRT stations in the form of housing. I would say one of my biggest highlight of 2024, that in Edmonton, we have built more homes and built them faster than any other major urban center in Canada. And that is a big achievement because we removed barriers, we are making public investments to spur more housing, and we are actually reducing red tape.
Since you've been mayor, at the end of your term, what will you be remembered for?
I would say my role has been to ensure that we continue to invest in our core municipal public services and make sure that those services remain affordable. I would say that is one of my biggest focus has been over the last 3 years. Maintaining affordability, continue to invest in core municipal services, build more homes, and build a more equitable and fair city for everyone. Decent place to call home. Ability to have access to good, effective, affordable municipal services. And that's what I have focused on. That's what I will continue to focus on over the next 10 months of the remaining of my mandate.
Okay, so, I have to ask you if you plan to run again for mayor.
I don't know. I've been very busy. My focus was getting through the budget. I'm glad that we were able to reduce property taxes by 2%, at the same time invest more in core municipal services and maintaining our affordability on the service side of things. During the break, I'm going to sit down with my family. It is not my personal decision. It is a family decision. So we'll have that conversation. I also need to reflect on the changes that province has made during for Bill 20, introduction of political parties. They have created a significant advantage for people running under a party banner, and they have created, I would say, significant disadvantage for those who want to run independent. My goal will be to have that conversation with the family. If I want to do that or not want to do that, I want to make that known maybe the first quarter of next year.
Mayor Sohi, thank you very much for your time today and riding the LRT with me downtown.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for the ride along, Natasha. It's always good to see, and at the end of the day, our goal is to make life better for all Edmontonians.